Hi, I'm Heyzeus, and oh my god guys, the Major's here. Oh, I'm so excited, I just can't wait for the first match to start. Any moment now? Is anyone there? Is it coming? Oh, don't worry, here's the desk. Here's the desk, we're good, we're about to start.
But either way, a generic peri order.
Sure.
I'm sitting there. I'm like really excited. I'm going to relax. I've got the Major tomorrow. Getting hyped back in the UK. Get my Nando's. No cutlery.
Oh, this might take a while, but you know what? While Machine goes on a 12-hour tangent about his dining experience at Nando's, let's talk about investing in FACEIT stickers, because clearly we're not going to be watching CS anytime soon. So this is going to be a two-part video. I'm going to talk about some general stuff, and then I'm going to go a little bit more in depth. So to start on the general part of investing in stickers, generally speaking, teams with established fan bases will gradually see the price of their stickers go up in the long run, because there's going to be a steady stream of people wanting to add these stickers to their weapons. So teams like FaZe, Na'Vi, Astralis, Cloud9, NiP, MIBR, Tyloo, these teams are good long-term investments, and particularly if they have some good performances during or after the Major, there's going to be a fair bit of demand for their stickers. On the other extreme, we've got teams with gimmicky stickers that often have quite a bit of demand for them immediately after the Major, but it tends to drop off in the long run because there isn't as much interest in that team or that particular design. Think teams like Spirit, Winstrike, and even Liquid. That design is quite popular now, but I'm not necessarily so confident that it'll be popular in 6 months' time. Now, that isn't to say that there's anything wrong with investing in stickers like these, but you need to be ready to sell as soon as their price spikes after the Major sticker sale ends, because generally speaking, after that, they're going to go down and stay down. And if you want examples of what I'm talking about, just look at teams like Splice or Flash Gaming. Also, if you're thinking of investing in holos or foils over ordinary team stickers, I recommend avoiding the most popular team in any particular capsule. In my experience, those don't tend to do so well in the long run. Go for something in the middle. These can be quite good investments, but generally speaking, the most expensive stickers tend to be underperformers in the long run. And finally, if you're looking at autographs, they're kind of complicated. I'll do a separate video on them. Now, if you're thinking that what I've said so far is so brief and lacking in detail that I should really have just tweeted it out, you're right. And the problem at the moment is that it's hard to tell exactly what to buy. But there's going to come a point where we're going to be in a much better position to make a decision. And what I'm hoping to do with this video isn't to give people my guesses about what might go well, but explain how and when you can make an informed decision about what to invest in and what the right time to do it is. Before I go any further though, I just want to be clear about what sort of guide this is going to be. This is just my approach to selecting good investments. It's not to the exclusion of differing opinions, and all that really matters at the end of the day is that you make a profit, and this is just the approach that I like to take in order to try and achieve that. And this particular approach is something of a two-step test. First of all, there's a test that I like to call the "Are the stickers universally reviled by the community for looking like dog shit" test. And the key word here is universally. Stickers don't need to be universally loved so long as they're not universally despised. And some stickers do fail this test. The Hot Silver Garbage from DreamHack Cluj-Napoca was universally despised. It was dead in the water from day one. Thankfully though, the London FACEIT stickers are a bit better than the Cluj stickers. If you were to ask me to rank the stickers from each major from best to worst, I would put these stickers equal fourth with the MLG Columbus stickers and behind Atlanta, Cato 15 and Cato 14. So they're not at the top of the food chain, but I would put them above the Boston stickers, which ultimately proved to be okay investments. Now, this on its own is just my opinion. It doesn't count for much. However, I've got a few reasons for thinking that these will be reasonably popular stickers with the community as a whole. First of all, they're big. Just compare them to the Boston stickers. These are nice big stickers with nice big logos, and generally, that's something that consumers like. Secondly, although I don't think these stickers have brilliant backgrounds, one strength they do have is that the colours aren't too intrusive, so it doesn't distract from the rest of the sticker. It's still not ideal, and if I'd been designing these, I would have upped the saturation on the logo and given the black a much crisper finish like the Cato 15 stickers had, but it's still miles better than the PGL stickers, for example. On top of that, I think this major has brought some objectively good foils. I think most people will agree that this Tyloo foil, or this Spirit foil, both look nice. Granted, once again, I think the colours could do with more saturation, but they're still decent stickers, and although I'm less confident about the popularity of the holo stickers and the autographs this major, I think there's enough reasons on the face of things to expect that these stickers will be fairly popular with the community. So that's actually it for the first test. I didn't even get that much time to show off all the different new stickers, so don't worry though, I'm going to spam them in the background for the rest of the video. But anyway, the reason why I'm only talking about the appearance of the stickers briefly is that of this two-step test that I talked about, this is just the precondition. All I want to do is just a quick check to make sure the designers didn't actively try and ruin the sticker revenue for the tournament so we can move on to the real meat and bones of the subject. Basically, this second test requires us to look at two separate things and compare them. First of all, how many people are there who are going to be wanting to put a team sticker on their gun, or player's autograph, or whatever it may be? Now, one way you might determine this is by looking at which stickers are selling the most, and according to CSGO Stash, it's currently MIBR. And if it seems a bit odd that they're at number 1 to everyone, well, it's because it is, and I'm reliably informed that most of the people purchasing these items on the Steam market at the moment are Brazilian, probably because Valve is overcharging them with their exchange rate. But if we look past MIBR, we can still see some basic trends. We've got Liquid, Tyloo, FaZe, Astralis, Nip, and Na'Vi at the top, while as Cloud9 and VP seem to have fallen off a bit. And while I definitely wouldn't recommend making solid conclusions based on this, it does give us some sense of how popular different stickers are relative to each other at the moment. But the key word, of course, is at the moment. We're not investing at the moment, we're investing at the end of the major, and obviously the performance of a team or an individual player at the major will affect its price. Just think of Skadoodle after Cloud9 won the major at Boston, for example. And it's also worth keeping in mind here that not all teams are going to be held to the same standard. Making it to the playoffs would be seen as incredible for Tyloo, but falling short of the grand final would probably be seen as a failure for Astralis. So that's the first element, it's all about the fans basically. The second part is the other group of people in this equation, the investors, and more specifically, just how many of them are going to be investing into things. And the reason for this is pretty obvious. It's going to be a lot easier to see a profit on your investment if there's only 10,000 of a particular item lying around than if there's 100,000. Now, obviously calculating the exact number of stickers that have been invested in is kind of difficult, but that's okay because at the end of the day, we can just use a proxy, the amount of an item listed on the Steam market. My approach is to check what this number is around about the midpoint of the sticker sale to get a sense of how much an item is being invested in. And the reason we use this number isn't to try and figure out what the total number of stickers being invested in is. There's no real way of knowing that. But what we can do is compare it to other majors. For example, let's look at the number of FaZe stickers listed at the end of the last 3 majors. Now, PGL was a massive flop, Boston performed okay, and the Atlanta stickers did really well. And if you just look at the numbers, you can immediately see why PGL was never going to work. People bought a ridiculous amount of them and it was just never going to move. Now, obviously, this number isn't the only factor. As you can see, Boston's number was around about the same as Atlanta's, but it did significantly better, and that's because the Atlanta stickers look better. But it's still a very helpful indicator for knowing whether or not your investment is going to be a complete dead end. If you know how heavily people invested in a team of similar popularity at various past majors, you can try and figure out whether the sticker you're looking at has been over-invested in, and it won't give you complete certainty, but at least it will give you some guide. And also, I'll link in the description where you can find some of these numbers. Unfortunately, they don't show on CSGO anymore, but there's another place where you can still see some of them. So we're really trying to compare these two factors. We want to take a stab at how many people are trying to buy a particular sticker or capsule or whatever, and how many people are investing in that sticker or capsule or whatever. And you know what? I feel like I sort of should come up with a shorthand to refer to these. You know what? I'm going to call it supply and demand. I think that sounds right. Basically, what this whole approach boils down to, the real crux of the issue, is you want to look for situations where it looks like there might be, in the long run, more demand for the sticker than there is supply for it, because that's when the price is going to go up. Anyway, there's a few more things I need to get out before I wrap this up. First of all, you might notice that I've explicitly talked about how you need to see how a team performs at the major itself, and how you need to see how much of an item is listed on the Steam market midway through the sticker sale, which, by the way, is shortly after the grand final of the major ends. These are obviously things that nobody knows at the moment, and that is really the central thing I want to get across in this video. You should only be deciding what to invest in once you have all the necessary information, and you won't have that until midway through the sticker sale itself. And just in case anyone gets the wrong impression about what I mean by this, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with researching or speculating or discussing what you might buy or what might do well at the moment either. I just want to make it clear that you shouldn't be making a final decision on what you're going to invest in until the sticker sale itself, because that's when you'll have the most possible information and therefore can make the best informed decision possible. I also want to mention something else that can be an important spanner in the works. The way a team performs after the major can really affect how their stickers perform in the long run. If we take Astralis for instance, they had a horrible time at Boston, and there were so many stickers floating around from the pick'ems that I was able to invest in a bunch for 22 cents each, which is less than the 25 cents that Valve would have wanted me to pay for them during the sticker sale. And for the first month, the price didn't really go anywhere. The team was in a slump, there wasn't much demand for them, but they made a roster change and improved and ultimately became the best team in the world. As a result, their stickers started going up and at their peak reached about 70 cents, making them really about as good as the Boston investments came. If we look at Space Soldiers on the other hand, they had the opposite experience. Their stickers initially went gangbusters after the major ended. No surprise really, they had a really good performance. They made it out of the qualifier for the first time. They've got a strong following of Turkish supporters and they were probably underinvested in. But as you can see, that success didn't last. They got up to 70 cents but then proceeded to take a massive dip. And it just so happens that this dip completely coincides with them getting completely blown out of the water at DreamHack Masters Marseille, including one match against Astralis where I can only imagine that Space Soldiers fans must have felt a bit like Theon did in a very particular Game of Thrones scene. Now I'm not going to mention what it is, but you can probably figure it out. Just look at this scoreline. In fact, I might let a few highlights run in the background. I think you'll get where I'm going with this. Anyway, so this horrible event for Space Soldiers coincided with a major dip in the price of their sticker. It fell from above 70 cents to well below 50. And although it did eventually recover, it was certainly quite a major setback. And it goes to highlight how a team's performance months after the major can affect the price of their stickers, and that is something you should be keeping in mind when you're choosing your investments. So with that, there's only one last thing that I really want to say. Basically, if it looks like it's going to be a bad idea to invest, don't invest, don't risk your money unless you've got a good reason to think you're going to get a return. There's nothing wrong with letting the major pass if you think the stickers are going to perform like shit. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, subscribe. Otherwise, trust the numbers, not your gut. I'm Heyzeus. Thanks for watching. See ya.
But sometimes when you order Nando's, you get a burger. You didn't get a burger, did you, Alex?
No, I ordered a butterfly chicken breast. Now let me explain what that is. That's 2 chicken breasts in a box. Now what I became was a caveman.